Anime Vanguards versus anime defenders. This argument has been long brought up in the anime TD community. Talking about this is basically the Roblox equivalent to politics, so I'm going to have to be very, very careful and try to be as objective as I possibly can when I'm making this video, but I'm putting this video out to analyze both of these games. What do I think they have going for them? Just giving my overall thoughts on the game as a whole, and really begging the question, which of these two games is going to come out on top? And will one game kill the other? Will they coexist? Well, that's the whole point of making this video. So I'm just going to go through both games and talk about their gameplay, albeit lack of gameplay for Anime Vanguard since I literally can't play the game. But we have a lot of sneak peeks to go off of, which isn't the greatest thing to rely on, but it's better than nothing. So let's start with Anime Vanguards. If there was one word you could use to describe this game, that word would be hype. Because Anime Vanguards has been one of the most longly anticipated and hyped up Roblox games that I've ever seen. Ever since their first release, well, not release, ever since their first sneak peek trailer showcasing the game, the maps, the units, people have been absolutely raving about this game, as it's really the closest thing to a spiritual successor that anime adventures will ever have. And that's really one of the main driving factors that push this game to its insane amounts of popularity. In fact, this game is really just out-hyping games that are already released. This game hasn't even came out, and we already have YouTubers making entire channels dedicated to analyzing the Discord server, the updates, statements from the devs, screenshots from the Discord server. Shout out to this dude, by the way. I like his videos. I watched all of them before I started making this one just so I could know as much about Anime Vanguards as possible before I started talking about it. And what I'm trying to say is that Anime Vanguards has levels of hype that we rarely see in the Roblox community, right? There is an entire fan base of people for a game that hasn't even released yet, which although isn't uncommon or never before seen in video games, it's definitely hard to pull it off on a scale as big as Anime Vanguards. So what do I think is good about this game? Well, after watching all the sneak peeks and all the GUI sneaks, gameplay sneaks that are available, I've come to the conclusion that this game is the closest thing to anime adventures that we will ever get. Because Anime Adventures is gone, buried, 6 feet under. We are never ever going to see that game again. But Anime Vanguards really leans in hopes that it can become popular off of the aesthetic of Anime Adventures alone. And so far, it has capitalized on that beautifully, gaining a huge player base of fans that haven't actually gotten to try the game yet, but are extremely excited to play it, myself included. I really think that's Anime Vanguard's strong suit. The fact that it looks seemingly well polished with good gameplay, and the community seems to have very strong opinions on how good the game is going to be when it releases. Insert Anime Vanguards, please save us. Anime Vanguards will save Roblox. Anime Vanguards this and that. I'm sure you guys have seen the comments and statements made by people all over the internet. It's not a revolutionary thought or idea, right? We've seen this echoed over and over again. But that's not to say that this game is with no faults, right? No game is objectively perfect, and Anime Vanguards is far from perfect, with their most glaring issue being delays. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Anime Vanguards has delayed their official release once or twice. I might be lowballing it here, but I'm just going to play it safe and say that they've delayed twice. And that's how they've earned the nickname Anime Delay Guards, Sneak Peek Vanguards, Anime Soon Guards. Because people just grow a little bit impatient and restless when they're given false promises of a release date that never comes into fruition. Now, to this game's defense, I think patience is a virtue. And getting mad at the fact that the game's taking a while to come out, I don't really see that as a valid point in criticism because, as a famous guy once said, who I don't know his name, and in fact, I might put a picture of him on the screen if I can find it. If I can't, oh well. A rush game is forever bad. A delayed game is eventually good. And that is really what I'm hoping Anime Vanguards is. I don't want it to be a half-baked, rushed product that they put out just to appease the masses because people are getting impatient. That would really be worst case scenario. because all the hype that's been built up around this game and the community that this game already has would go absolutely down the shitter. And there would just really be no saving it after there. After players have that initial sour taste in their mouths from an unfinished, half-baked release, it is nigh impossible to save the game after it's in that state. And that's the path that I don't want Anime Vanguards to go down. Because just like the rest of you guys, I'm excited to play the game, I want to try the game, and I want the game to be good on release. Which I'm sure lots of people are certain that it's going to be good on release. I can't be certain because I've never tried it. And although testers will say the game's really good, they're testers, right? Obviously, they're going to have a little bit of degree of bias, just like I'm going to have a degree of bias for anime defenders. So I can't take their opinion at face value until I try it myself. So what do I think the most glaring issue with Anime Vanguards is? Well, it's just the fact that they haven't released yet. And, you know, as far as issues go, that's not that bad of an issue. Because once it releases, we'll actually be able to criticize the game for what it is, try it out, and really find out if the hype for the game was deserved or not. But I think we've done enough of analyzing Anime Vanguards. Let's move on to Anime Defenders. So, Anime Defenders is really just characterized by how good the game looks. The reason that this game is as popular as it is because whether you like it or not, there is no other TD game on the market that is this professionally made. And I know some people might fight with me on that. Oh, ALS. Oh, insert this other anime tower defense project. Insert Anime Royale. Special tower defense. Or what's it called? Special anime defense. I don't know. There's like a bunch of projects out. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not going to say objectively speaking, but you can't say this game looks bad, right? The reason that this game has as much popularity as it has is because it looks good and the units are fluid and the animations feel good to look at. It feels good to place your units and watch them kill stuff. You know, that's one of the main appeals of the game. Also, this trailer is old. Some of the units don't look like this anymore. So, sorry about that, but I couldn't find another trailer, so we're just going to use this one for the background footage. What I'm trying to say is that Anime Vanguards, not Anime Vanguards, my brain is getting jumbled. Anime Defenders has its popularity because of its quality. There is no other game currently out with the quality Anime Defenders has to offer. Now, that's not to say that this game is without its faults. Obviously, there have been a lot of, you know, riffraff among the community and controversial updates. This monetization scheme, 5.7 years incident with the wishes, the update 5 incident where people just did not like it at all. You know, this game has been subject to a lot of criticism. And I completely agree with literally 99% of the stuff that the people say. Another big gripe is the models. The models don't even look like anime characters. My personal guess as to why that's the case is because the game is pretty big and they're either avoiding a future DMCA strike or maybe they already got a warning, who knows. But I'm assuming that they're trying to play it safe because they want to be around for the long run, right? Because what good would it do if they had a game which averaged hundreds of thousands of players, but it was only alive for 3 months because a corporate company that has the IP rights to the characters that they're using just absolutely curb stomps them, sues them, and takes all their money, right? They don't want that. That would be worst case scenario for them, which is why I'm assuming the models look the way that they do. If you ask me personally, I really could care less about the models as long as the game looks good and the units look good and the VFX, animations, attacks look good. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I really don't care if it looks like anime or not. Because after what happened to Anime Defenders, I've come to terms with the fact that I don't think anime games on Roblox can survive. Well, that's a bit of a bad statement. What I'm trying to say is I don't think huge anime games on Roblox can survive if they infringe on copyright. Anime Adventures being prime example. One of the biggest games on Roblox, averaging tens of thousands. I think upwards of 100,000 players in its prime. Don't quote me on that. I haven't played it in a while. I mean, has anyone played it in a while? But what I'm trying to say is, if a game gets as big as Anime Adventures, right? Or let's take Blox Fruits into example. They had to change their models because their dragon fruits looked way too much like the real One Piece thing, and they were at risk of getting sued. So what did they do? They had to get a little creative, make things seem like it was original. And I believe that's really the same thing Anime Defenders is trying to do. They just want to avoid a big lawsuit. And if that means making the units look a little bit unconventional, so be it. I've really come to terms with that, and I think the sooner people accept it, the sooner that they're going to realize there really is no other way out, right? Besides Anime Defenders getting licensing rights with a bunch of big animes, which isn't impossible, that'd be incredibly cool, right? Unless a game gets a deal to have the permission to use the anime IPs that they otherwise would be stealing, there's just no hope for an anime tower defense game to get away with using these IPs, i.e., they make Naruto characters, JoJo characters, One Punch Man characters. There's no reality where they can get away with that without getting sued if a game starts getting huge and starts averaging hundreds of thousands of players, just like Anime Defenders. Now, the counter argument for this would be, hey Perry, look at look at Anime Last Stand. Their units look pretty close to the real thing. Some would say almost similar and identical, and they haven't gotten sued, so your argument is stupid. Well, my counter argument to that is that Anime Last Stand has not reached concurrent player counts that Anime Defenders has. And on the topic of player counts, I will speak on this issue. People call Anime Defenders alt defenders, pay to win defenders. We'll focus on alt defenders. Yes, this game definitely has an alt problem, and the game definitely incentivizes people to play on alts just because of that's how the game was designed. Yeah, that's how the game was designed. Whether that was intentional or unintentional, I have no idea. But, the devs do make efforts to curb alt farming. They've added measures in place like the trading restrictions or patching macros by making the game take longer to load if you're on multiple devices or if you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Man, I need a drink of water. My throat is parched from talking. But what I'm trying to say is Anime Defenders is not without its faults, but it's also got a lot of good things going for it. It's an incredibly well-made, polished game, really the highest quality anime TD on the market right now, and it has a lot of loyal players that enjoy the game for what it is. And on the topic of enjoying the game for what it is, I want to move into my closing thoughts. So what do I think is going to happen? Will Anime Vanguards sweep Anime Defenders under the rug and take their entire player base? Will Anime Vanguards turn out to be like the other 20 different anime tower defense projects that have come and went? Well, the honest answer to that is we don't know. Only time will tell whether these games will coexist, kill each other, or thrive in the Roblox community side by side. There really is no way of me to know this, but I will give you my speculation. Anime Vanguards caters to the player base that misses anime adventures. If you look at their GUI, the way their model is designed, their characters is designed, the game design as a whole, they lean into the anime adventures aesthetic. They want that nostalgia. They want those people who miss anime adventures and never had an alternative in the first place. Those are their key target player base here. I think Anime Defenders isn't trying to target the AA player anymore. If you compare Anime Defenders to Anime Adventures, sure, they share some similarities, but it's nowhere near as glaring as the similarities Anime Vanguards and Anime Adventures have. Because Anime Vanguards is really just fully, full nuts to butts, all in, leaning into the Anime Adventures vibe and aesthetic. That's where their popularity comes from. Now, that's not to say, people won't call Anime Defenders an AA clone, because any anime tower defense game that gets made after AA got deleted will be considered an AA clone. What I'm trying to say is I think Anime Vanguards and Anime Defenders cater to two different types of players. Now, I know that argument might sound dumb. You're going to be like, hey, Perry, guess what? We're all playing the same tower defense here. What are you talking about? Stay with me now. I think Anime Vanguards is going to cater to the more hardcore player base that misses AA, that misses units being super hard to get, and misses just being able to earn everything, but everything being hard to earn, right? There's a group of people that genuinely miss that gameplay, and that's where I think Anime Vanguards is going to shine. I'm one of those people. I'll try the game. I'll play the game. If it's good, I'll definitely play it. Why not? I think Anime Defenders is really just setting off to make its own path, gain its own player base, its own fan base of people that like the game for what it is and not for what it's pretending to be. And that's my take on the situation. But what do I know? I'm just a dude with a microphone. Before the video ends, I just want to make it very, very clear that I don't hate or dislike either of the games mentioned in this video. In fact, I'm excited for both of them, for what they have in the future, and just to be able to play both games. I wanted to make this video to really be as objective as possible as to what the current, situation is, the big debate. And I felt that I did as best as I could without trying to come off as biased. Now, full transparency aside, if you take a 30-second scroll in my channel, you'll be able to realize that I post a lot of anime defenders. So it's not crazy to think, this Perry guy might like anime defenders more than anime vanguards. Well, you'd be right. You'd be exactly right. And I am not gonna shy away from that or deny the fact that I prefer anime defenders over vanguards, and I honestly don't think that's gonna change. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Who knows what my opinion is gonna be in the future? I don't know, you don't know, none of us know. But with that being said, the main takeaway that I want you guys to leave with from this video is that anime vanguards and anime defenders have a very real possibility of coexisting without necessarily having to kill one another. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we'll catch you in the next one.